Good morning, everyone. I'd like to welcome you all to this press conference. I am Karabo Mokhalagadi, and I will be the program director of this conference. And thank you so much to our SPAR Proteas. They are back, and the president is here as well. Welcome back, press. Head coach Nkamu will be joining us as well. Members of the media, thank you so much for making the time and just being here welcoming our SPAR Proteas. Please note that we are also live on the Netball South Africa Facebook page. We are live streaming this. I know that there is some media as well where this is live. So just wanted to make everyone aware of that. Otherwise, I officially welcome you to this press conference. Thank you once again for making the time. And we do have Coach Jenny van Dijk on my left here. Coach, welcome.
Thank you. Full of energy.
And we do have the president of Netball South Africa, Ms. Cecilia Molokwane. Welcome.
Thank you, thank you.
Chosen one.
Yes. And we do have a SPAR Protea player, Kamogelo Maseko. Kamu, welcome as well.
Thank you.
I think we'll just start it off with you, Pris. The team has been gone since January, the beginning of the year. They're coming back home after a number of weeks, away. Went to Jamaica, went to the UK, and now you're back as the president. How are you feeling with everything that transpired? And yeah, tell us more about how you're feeling about, being back home as well.
It's nice, firstly, to be back home because you move from a 40-degree temperature in Jamaica, then you come home and they tell you it's their winter. They said it's winter in Jamaica, and it's 40 degrees. And then you go to you go to 3 degrees in Nottingham. And then you go to London, which is also 4 or 5 degrees. And then you come home to a weather that you're used to. It's nice to be home. And it's nice that we have experienced what we did. And truly speaking, from Netball South Africa side, we are very proud of the girls. We're proud of the team management. Being home, firstly, for a month, not being with your people, it becomes a very hectic, environment because you're not used to be with these people for such a long time. And then I thought I'll hear, complaints, a lot of, this one and that one. But the unity that I saw, it really amazed me. And I said, we are building towards something good because I think this team is building. And I did not worry a lot about the scoreboard. I want to be honest. What worried me was the performance of the team, where they are. And actually, they made my mouth shut because the scoreboard, talked a lot than what I wanted to see. So to me, I'm proud of this team. They've gone all out with young players who have never played Jamaica. Some of them have never played England, and they went out there to perform. I don't think we went to any tournament to participate. This time around, we went and performed. We competed, actually. We were not participating. Coach, we were competing. And thank you. Thank you, Kam.
Coach Jenny, number of days gone as well. 2 different tournaments, different conditions as well. What's your reflection just looking at, your experience? This was your first international experience as well.
First order of business is I'm going to eat a big steak. I truly miss South Africa, but this was one of my best tours I've ever experienced. It was such a fantastic trip with a team that's full of so much life and energy and full of so much passion. And it could have been a long tour for us, and it could have become a difficult tour for us, but it never was. And I've never seen a team that we're able to learn so much in the time away. We used absolutely every minute we could. We had so many video sessions. I think if they have to watch another netball match in the next month, they'll become a little nauseous. But they've just been so fantastic, and we've just enjoyed the time together. And you can see when we spend quality time like that together what we can get out of our unit.
I think we could also just pick it up from here at home, that the energy was different. Even, well, we had the opportunity to hear, you talking to the players as well during a break, and you spoke about, let's show that South African feel, and show them that we're South Africans and what we're made up of. Let's just talk about the energy that we didn't see and the mood in camp building up to this whole journey.
It's a great energy, and I think we feed off each other. And it's a bunch of young players with a lot of energy and with a lot of leadership skills. And it's an important part of it. And we've set out our goals as a team, and all the players in the team has bought into the vision and the culture and the roles and responsibilities that we have within our unit. So that doesn't allow a lot of time for people to think negative thoughts and to have a negative mindset. We are very clear on the goals and what we want to achieve in the next couple of months and years. And for us, at the end of the day, we always say it's not if, it's when. And that's something that we live by. So no, I mean it's a fantastic group of players to work with, and I think we're on the right track here.
Yeah. I think we saw it as well because the introduction of new players as well within the team. I think some of us were like, have they been training behind the scenes without us knowing? Maybe you were planning on calling these players up.
Yes, with most of our players in the UK, especially with last season, we called up some training partners in our squad, and with all our remote training sessions, these training partners were working with us around the clock, and that included a lot of the East Under 21 players. So we do try to include as many as possible training partners, which is realistic. Yes, so the two that we did call up, they have been in camp with us, and they have been working with us. Obviously, Sanmarie Visser, I don't think people understand, Sanmarie is a goal defense, and in TNL you can move it to a goalkeeper position and she'll be brilliant. You take her to the world stage and you let her play against the best shooters in the world, and you put her, and the first time she walks onto that court, guys, she plays out of position for our country, and she's just brilliant. That just speaks of the quality of players we have in South Africa. And we've got some of the best defenders the world has ever seen. And it's so important for us to create that confidence within our defensive squad as well. And who better than Coach Zanele Mdonana? She's just been brilliant with the girls at the back there. And she's been giving them a hard time. Trust me, because we know what we want to get done, but they were just formidable, all of them.
Kamo, let's chat about the personal reflection, how this international experience has, improved your game as well, but how has your time been while you were abroad?
Obviously, I think for me personally, it was a happy camp, like Coach mentioned. You wouldn't want to go into a camp for 31 days and it becomes so long and exhausting, and you just feel like you want to go home every second day. But no, this was just a different camp. The energy, I think above all, everyone just took accountability of themselves. We were open and honest. We had open and honest conversations. And this happened internally as a group. Outside of the management, we knew that we had to take us where we want to see ourselves. But I think personally for me, we knew it was going to be challenging. And I think from the onset, we said if we want to be the best in the world, we have to play against the best in the world. As a squad, we were tested first against an African country, and we knew that is not the bar we wanted. So we knew from here it's going to get tougher, and I guess we did experience the tough. But yeah, we really grew a lot, and we had to learn at an accelerated rate, like Coach always says. Yeah, it was just hours of analysis, hours of hard work, and I honestly wouldn't trade that experience for anything in the world. You can't stimulate it. It doesn't matter how hard you train, how hard you analyze. You just can never stimulate that type of pressure. So I think, yeah, I learned quite a lot from the experience, Jamaica and England.
I'm going to open up to the floor. If you do have any questions, please raise your hand, your name, surname, and your media house, and then you can go ahead and ask your question.
Hi, Coach. Congratulations. It's Mom from SABC News. I just have one question for you. How would you compare the experience and also maybe in terms of the performance when you guys played in Jamaica and also in England?
Very different styles and a very different type of players. Even with the England unit, you would find that there's not that many experienced players within their squad at the moment, the way the Jamaicans, the quality players the Jamaicans have at the moment. I think that Jamaica was an eye-opener for us, for a lot of our youngsters. You know, you see them, you watch them on TV, you aim to become just as good, and then you play against it and you realize this is a whole different game. And the way they adapted throughout that series was remarkable. And even with England, it was something totally different. Look, obviously not the ideal to go all the way to UK to play against Uganda and Malawi, which we can play at home a bunch of times as well. But it was also an important part for us to play against the Africa teams abroad. And, you know, because we're so used to and accustomed to playing them in South Africa. So many different styles. And I think what made it different was that the one day you would play an African team and the next day you would play England. And that happened on both weekends for us. We played an African team and then we played England. So it was such different styles that when we especially saw that in the Malawi Test series, where we started to focus on England and you know, just that changeover between the styles can become quite difficult to manage, especially within a more inexperienced unit. But in saying all of that, you know, I think there was so many key moments where we could have won the match. And to us, it's about taking accountability and knowing that we can give a lot of excuses of why we didn't, but we rather want to focus on how we can and what we can do in the future. And that's why it was such an important and remarkable learning school for us, to be able to see, you know, under those pressure situations, how can we handle it? At the stage in our finals, which is obviously something that will come up soon enough, we were playing with 6 players. You know, and it's so easy, and I mean, we felt that in that moment, I felt there was a lot of opportunities for us to still win that match, regardless of what happened. That should not happen, and we should be skilled and we should be experienced enough not to get ourselves into those positions. But we also train to work in those conditions and to not let something as big as that throw us off completely. I mean, if I can take you back to the Jamaica Test series, we had the call where Jean-Marie broke her nose and she was taken off, and immediately then I got a call on dangerous play. She was suspended for 2 minutes, and that threw us off completely. I mean, and then we really had a good look and we said, you know what, in those moments, how do we approach this? Because things like that will happen. You need to prepare for the unpredictable as well. And I just felt they did it so well in this finals. And to me, that's the areas that I'm so proud of and the areas that I see the growth in. Because it's so easy for you to just, in that moment, everything can fall flat. And before you know it, you can be 20, 30 points down. So I was quite pleased at the way they handled that moment.
Coach, I just want to ask. Okay. I just want to ask, do you think Netball South Africa is getting enough support, especially from the ministry and also from the supporters? And also, how do you rate African netball? Do you think, how do you rate African netball?
Well, let me start first up. I think we have gotten so much more support over the last couple of years because of our president and because of our great sponsors in SPAR, Telkom, and a bunch of other sponsors like Renault coming aboard. Yes, I know that we're getting quite a lot of assistance. I don't know how it compares I don't have the facts on how it compares to other sports. So to me, you know, we always want more support. And I think, you know, and that's what I said to the players, give South Africa something to believe in. Give them a product that they're proud of, that they want to back. And once we start showing the wins, then who would not want to support a strong women's team like this? So that's important to us. And secondly, 5 out of the 15 teams in the top 15 ranked in the world is Africa teams. I rate African netball, I do rate them and I rank them, and it's such an important part. We bring something totally different. And to us, even in the approach that we have as South Africans, we've got this whole combination of styles that we like, that we're pulling together into the South African style that we want to play. So I think our African sisters did a great job. And I think, you could see them improve from weekend 1 to weekend 2 in the Nations Cup. And even in the Africa Cup, it was even you saw a team like Zimbabwe really coming through strong in the Nations Cup as well. So yes, definitely strong teams that we have.
Morning, Coach.
Morning.
I just wanted to find out from you, even post that Jamaica series, you seem like still very confident of this team, which you guys are going to achieve. But so I just wanted to find out, even after you lost to England, you still seem very confident. I just wanted to find out what are the signs, that you're seeing this team that is perhaps feeling the confidence that you have in them, and maybe spending this time of the international season is first.
There's a lot of signs. I think for me, when it comes to our players and to what we want to achieve, we keep the bigger picture in mind. We are not happy with our performance in the Nations Cup. We wanted to win. And to us, we need to win, but it's not just about the win, it's about the standard of play that we put on court. And we know that it became a little overwhelming in that finals, and there was a lot of moments that we could have handled better. And so for us, we'll always try to see it for what it is and take responsibility for it. As coaches as well, for me, I know I'm the accountable person, and I take full responsibility for every single decision I make, because that's the combinations we try, and some of them work and some of them don't, and some of them get fantastic synergy, and others that we thought would never work end up working very well, and it's a process for us as well. We won't get everything right from the start, and then where do we go from there, So we need to learn through some of the errors that we make to test our combinations and to test the depth within our squad, and to also see whether we are working with the right bunch of players. Now, I can tell you that the core group is solid and they're strong, and they have responded so well. But for us, it's the bigger picture that keeps us and gives us that confidence. We know what we're working towards, and we have given ourselves a little bit of time. We want to see results first time as well, but we did give ourselves a timeline. So for us, we know we'll get there eventually. I'm going to first spend some time with my little boy. I've been away from home a long time, so I'm sure he's eager to see me. And then before we know it, the TNL will start. And so we'll be back. We want to go back to all our remote clinics and courses. We need to get the information out to all the South African coaches so that they understand what we experienced, the lessons we have learned, and so that they can work with our players in the next couple of months. We only have 13 months, and then it's going to be Commonwealth Games. And before that, we have 2 or 3 more tours that we're planning. So time is not on our side, and we want to make sure to make a big impact. And it's clear what we need to do here. You see, we need to beat in the Commonwealth Games, we play in 2 pools of 6-6. And we need to beat one of the top 4 just to get to a semi-final spot. You need to understand that. You don't know which one of the top 4 you're going to get. But just for us to get to a semi-final spot, we need to beat one of those top 4 teams. And then you get your you get your finals from there, your semis and your finals. So you have to play 3 very, very strong matches. And that's why, even with the Malawi match, when we had to put up our players and they had to carry more load, because of reasons out of our control, it was a good thing, because you're going to be tired if you play against one of the top 4. And then the next day you're going to play in the semis against another one of the top 4. And the next day you want to play in the finals and win the finals against another one of the top 4. So that's a lot that you need to get done. So I was quite still pleased at the progress we've made in that moment. I've answered a lot of questions there. I don't know which one.
Just want to Kamu. Kamu, you've worked quite a lot with Coach JD. Seeing that this was her first international team, how would you say, or what would you comment on her progress to the team in terms of how you guys played in the past 2 games and also at the beginning of the year?
Tell them what you told me, Kamu.
Yeah, well, definitely. Like I told her earlier, as much as it's our first international match as a group, and like I said, as a squad, we were tested first against an African country. So we have we have perfected playing against African countries, but this was our first time coming out to play against the top 2 of the top 4 countries in the world. And like I said, it was just not for us as players, but also for coach as well. She also had lessons to learn. She also has, I personally feel like she has grown so much, in a sense that coach is one person who's very passionate about what she's doing. And I think it was easy for us as players to buy into her vision, because it was from the onset, this is where we're going, this is what we want, it's either you're in or out. And I think that is why we all have that same mindset, and everyone knows what we're working towards. She gives us timelines, she gives us exactly what we need. She literally sets us up to succeed. So anything else is honestly up to you. She gives you the right tools, she says the right things. Like she's a psychologist also, so she knows what to say. She just sets you up to succeed. But I think honestly for me, I've seen so much growth from her. She really is taking this the same way we are taking it as players. There's just so much hunger in her eyes that also makes you want to go as a player. I think in moments where we just felt like this was an impossible task, coach just, she came in there and she made us, she told us how capable we were, and that it was not impossible. So I think she's also growing, and like I said to her, she also needs to give herself some grace. She's also new to this international stage, the same way we are. And at the end of the day, we are a new group, we are young players, so it's safe to assume she's also a young coach in this space. But yeah, we're making a choice, and we're saying to each other, let's do this together, let's grow together. Again, Rome wasn't built in a day. We understand where we are. And like Coach said, we're not happy about our performance. We wanted the win. But I think it was not a true reflection of us as a team and our capabilities. It just put into perspective where we are and what we need to work on. But I think we're definitely excited about our future. And we're definitely excited about the growth we've experienced from the Malawi Test series until now.
Siasana here from the Sunday World Music. Coach, from a technical point of view, how important was it to have that big Proteas we briefly touched on with the Commonwealth Games, be really tempted to look into some of those players that plan to go against.
Well, look, that team is very close to my heart, seeing as that was the one I was going to take to Gibraltar, and missed that opportunity for bigger things. But they are such a nice, strong, young, energetic unit as well. I think Jamaica did them well. It was good for them to travel and to go through the growing pains of having to travel that far and having to perform under pressure. You know, Jamaica, that same Jamaica team, the previous World Cup beat us as South Africans. So we might say that it was easy, but that just goes to show that what we are doing in South Africa is working, and our systems and structures that's in place from TNL. I mean, back then we didn't have a TNL that's that strong. Now we can see, even with our young players and even with the B division and all of that, how our younger players are coming through much stronger. Yes, I would still like to see that they play against the top 3 for them to experience it. But what I loved was the moments where we could spend together, where that the president brought forward for us as well, where we could, where each one chose a mentor, and where they, and that's the part of the culture that we need to exchange between the units. And you know, I think it's something so special, and they need to understand what it's all about. When we are doing our business, it is serious stuff. And it's not just fun and games. And I think they saw that part during the tour. Yes, there's a bunch of them that I feel is going to be remarkable in the next couple of years. We'll wait for them to finish their World Cup, and we will want to see how they perform in the World Cup. And remember, being a player that went to a World Cup gives you such a great advantage point and experience level. So we're hoping to see some of them come through. And then, like always, Nobody's contract is set in stone. At the end of the day, it's about performance. And if that player rise to the occasion, we're not, like you saw, we are not scared to put in young players to get the job done for us.
Jenny, for all of us watching those games from Jamaica to the UK, we rely on commentators, we rely on information coming through from experts on Twitter and other sources about the performance of the SPAR Proteas. And I'm pleasantly surprised to see people like Lisa Alexandra, Jill McIntosh, even Norma Plummer, incredible accolades towards the SPAR Proteas despite you losing all your matches in Jamaica. Even the Jamaican commentators were so positive. How does it put pressure on you as a new coach, knowing that the world is saying, wow, South Africa's really shining in the light, watch them in the future? And how do you take that? What do you do about that? You know, these famous international players and coaches, how do you take that into to deliver on what they expect?
Oh, I absolutely love it. I absolutely love going up head on against them. It's an honor to be in their presence, and I know how hard we as a unit have worked through all of this. And you know, to me, no, I'm not intimidated. We are South Africans, and we can be just as good as any other nation out there. If you don't believe me, ask the Bokke, ask Driekus, ask Tatiana. We can be the best in the world. It's just, we just need to understand that it takes absolutely everything that you have. So we're not intimidated by that. In fact, we thrive off it. And the thing with me is, and I can speak here for both me and Coach Jan, we put so much pressure on ourselves. Because to us, it's so important that South African coaches coach the South African teams, that we know exactly the work we've got that we have to do to secure that for future coaches as well. So the amount of pressure we're putting on ourselves at the moment is enough. We don't even have time to focus on the other pressure.
My last question to you, Cecilia. They spoke about, Jenny spoke about the strength of Africa. And you are the president of Africa. I mean, this is quite an honor that you've got 5 in the top 12 or 15 that are in World Netball. How does World Netball see Africa from your point of view? Sit on the boards, you're right up there talking to new CEOs, presidents. Do we really get the respect that we deserve to? Because rankings speak for themselves.
Thank you, Bruce. You are now putting me in a corner. Because I'm here sitting as a South African president, and now you are keeping me the cap of Africa president, which I am and I'm proud of. And I can say since I took over Africa, Africa has improved a lot. And that was my aim, to say we cannot always go out and play Australia, New Zealand and England and Jamaica and forget our African sisters who are around us. And then I made sure that every year since I took over, an Africa Cup is played. So as at the end of the day, we can weigh ourselves and see where we are as Africa. I think we are a force in the world. Is that we are a sleeping giant that we have never realized what kind of a giant we are. And the moment we realize that, nobody can touch us. I mean, you have seen, I was saying to Coach Jenny, I don't have to come to England to play Malawi and Uganda. We can do a test series in Uganda and go and play the top 5 of Africa in Uganda, or we go to Malawi, or we go to Zimbabwe. I'll talk about those that are now in the top, in the top 15 of the world. I mean, I'm proud to be an African president, because all the time the top 15 of the world, I can tell you, it was South Africa and Malawi, and then Uganda came in. And then Zimbabwe came in. And then now we see Zambia coming in. We see Namibia coming in. I mean, to me, I'm a proud president to see there, to say, we are growing what we wanted to grow, and Africa is growing. And yes, we will get accolades there and there. Remember, when you become a threat to somebody, not everybody will be happy. Because the more Africa grows, is the more you see the growth in all this. Remember, Bruce, some of these black players you see in this top countries are African-born players. And then we have to be honest that if they can play in their own countries, what will Africa produce? If an African-born player or an African, ancestral, what do you say, origins of you are there. I mean, Grace, we can say whatever. She's not a New Zealander. She's an African. I mean, the three girls that were playing in England, if we can find their original, their origins, they're Africans. So if we can get them to play in their country, imagine what will Africa do. So to me, we are a sleeping giant, but watch us in the near future. We are going to get what we want. And I like what Coach Jenny said, we must believe in our own. And I love what Africans are also doing. That's why in South Africa we started doing that, to believe in our own South African coaches and say, this is what we want to do and this is where we want to go.
Right. No more questions? Right, no. I think we are good. Any closing words from you, Coach? I think let's start it with you, just to wrap it up.
I just want to say thank you to all the media out there that is telling the story. Apologies if sometimes we get so focused that we forget to send our voice notes. And in time, it happens, but if we start focusing, it's something different. But without you, netball will not grow at the pace that it's growing at the moment. So thank you to the media. Secondly, thank you to all the supporters out there that's backing us. Just know that we are working towards something here, something great, and we are by all means far from satisfied in our performances, even though we know we have glimpses of brilliance. We're going to go back, we're going to work even harder, and the next challenge hopefully will be announced soon enough, and that we'll be ready for. We might see a few changes here and there, but we're quite excited. Thank you for all the support.
Kamo? Your closing words. In closing, the support, I think you've also just made a name for yourself, Kamo. Every time we listen to analysis or commentators, everyone is just talking Kamo Maseko. You've really made a name for yourself out there. And we're proud, as South Africans. So just in closing, what would you like to say?
I think in closing, especially on behalf of the players, thank you so much, firstly to Netball South Africa for the opportunity. It's easy to see us play on TV, but how we got there, the money, the costs, I think, firstly, thank you to Netball South Africa for keeping our dreams alive. Thank you to our sponsors, SPAR, it's good for netball. We thank you, SPAR. Thank you to Renault, Telkom, Hollywood Bets, all our sponsors, I think, for just keeping our dreams alive. Thank you to our coaches, the management of the SPAR Proteas. Like we said, it was a happy camp because we were under your leadership. Thank you to our families who have just been emotionally supporting us. This tour required a lot of mental resilience, and I think the support from our families and our loved ones. Thank you to everyone who was supporting us here at home. The fans constantly sending us messages of just assurance that you have our backs. Those who commented positively, those who motivated us, we really are grateful. And I just think above all, thank you to the media for just keeping netball alive in our country. The posts, the resharing, the messages of encouragement, and the designs, the posters, beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And so thank you for just making netball evolve. Thank you guys, just gratitude.
President, in closing, I think as well, I know right now the focus is on the SPAR Proteas, but it's a big year for the babies, and I think one of the questions we're also getting, we're hoping there will be competition for the babies so that they prepare for Gibraltar. Are there plans, just looking at the team getting ready?
Look, as Jenny said, they were close to her heart. She was the coach that went to interviews and got the position of the baby Proteas at the time. And she thought she could do better and applied for the SPAR Proteas. And she got it, and she has proven it in her first year. It's a year now. In her first year as a coach in the team, we've got plans for baby Proteas. That's why we took them to Jamaica. It was not a plan for them, but it became a plan for us as Netball South Africa to say, we cannot go to a World Cup and not even play, a team that is ranked high in the world. That's why when we decided to go to Jamaica, we said we are going to include the baby Proteas. It was not part of the contract. The baby Proteas were not part of the contract of going to Jamaica. But we felt it's very key and important to take them there. And they are going to play the TNL. If there's one team that we are adding this year, you're making me talk prior to the TNL, but we are adding the baby Proteas in the TNL because they need to play competitive games, and we are adding them in the A section, not even in the B section, because we want them to play the competitive games as they played in the A section of the SPAR National Championships in December, because we wanted them to prepare for we wanted to prepare for Jamaica. So it's very important, and we still having plans that we cannot talk about them now because we will make it monotony. It will be monotonous when we have to talk about it at the time that it comes, because we still want them to play 2 or 3 games before international games, before they go and actually participate in Gibraltar. A very big year for them. To this year, actually, my focus is on the baby SPAR Proteas. It's not that we are saying to the SPAR Proteas we're not focusing on them. We are also focusing on them, but the full support now goes to the baby SPAR Proteas, because to us it's important that when it's a World Cup year, we focus on the team that is going to the World Cup. Next year, we're going to Commonwealth Games, obviously, under Team South Africa. As we are lucky. I want to say this to the media. We are one of the top 10 sporting codes that Glasgow chose to play at the Commonwealth Games. Not all the sporting codes are going to Commonwealth Games in Glasgow. So netball is one of those sporting codes that is very fortunate to be going to Glasgow to represent. It's obvious, we are in the top 5. So we are going to Glasgow. It's not even a question of, are we waiting for World Netball to say Netball South Africa or SPAR Proteas are going or not. No, we are going because we know we are in the top 10 of top 11 of the countries that will be participating. Karabo, in closing, I want to thank the team. My first thank you will go to the coach. I think we threw her under the bus. When we approached her and we said we are appointed, we said you have a first one, which is a test series against an African country, which she asked for, by the way. And we said to her, go and test the waters. We never said to the coach, go and do 7, 8, 9. We said, go and test the waters. And I think she did that diligently so. And we appointed the assistant coach, passionate, committed, a coach that will cry when things don't go right. That is Zanele Mdodana for you. A coach that has been on court and played international and understand when a player says this, what is that feeling that she has. And I want to thank the two of them, because when we appointed them, the country was saying, oh, what a combination. What's going to happen? These are two strongholds, 2 strong coaches with a lot of, accolades behind them. What will the relationship be like? And they've proved the country that they can work together. They've proved to us that whatever we were deciding as Netball South Africa, they can do it. And I want to thank the players, availing themselves for the country. Yes, they might say we are giving them the opportunity, but them availing themselves, it doesn't come easy. They train, they do it, they go an extra mile in being who they are. So we want to thank the team and thank the leadership of Khanyisa. I saw her leadership when Fifi was taken off court, not to come back. And I said, now we have a leader. Now we have a replacement for Bongiwe Msomi. I was so proud of her. I even cried at the moment. It's just the TV wouldn't see me at the moment, but I cried because I felt we have a leader that says, you know what, we are 6 on court, we are going to do this. And in that moment, they played 6 minutes with 6 players. She was leading the team. And Kamu was going, come come on girls, we can do it. And that's when I saw that, we only don't have one leader on court, but we've got a lot of leaders on court. And I know that can only happen with the team management. It cannot happen when you don't have a strong coach and a strong team manager. If it doesn't happen, it won't happen. So I want to thank the team manager also, who is new, who actually has gone all out to learn things the hard way. I can tell you, she has learned things the hard way. We were with her, we know what was happening, but I want to say to her, she's a strong character, and I'm happy that we have put the young ones together. I think this is a very young team that we have put together, and we believe in them. To our sponsors, SPAR is good for netball. I always say that. I say, Telkom, live your netball, not your Monanti. Hollywood Bed, Supersport. Thank you so much. I think I had so many engagements with them to make these games live, because these games were not going to go live. I think I had sleepless nights in making these games go live in the country and in the sub-Saharan continent in Africa, so they can see them. And I'm happy that happened. Thank you so much, Supersport. I don't even have words to thank you. SABC for giving people, that insight of saying this is happening, this is what is happening. All the TV houses, the Newsroom Africa, TV. I can call them all them by name, but I want to say thank you to all the radio stations. I mean, we wouldn't sleep. Some of them didn't know that our Jamaica time and their time are not the same. So we would wake up in the morning and do that. And thank you to all the media houses that were there to make sure that this is brought to life. And I cannot forget the office of Netball South Africa, starting with the CEO and everybody. The logistics of making this happen is not an easy thing. And people think that, just seeing the team out there is an easy thing. It's not. And I want to thank our government, because we cannot leave the country without the blessings of the government and of the Department of Sports, Arts and Culture, led by Minister Mackenzie. We want to say thank you to them and to say thank you for getting us there, and to all the ambassadors of all the countries that we went to. We want to say thank you. We felt at home in another country because of the ambassadors that were in that country, and we want to say thank you to them and to our fans, the people, the 8 players that were on court. I know in spirit we could hear Mama Joy, we could hear the matches and the Genevieves, we could hear them from Jamaica, from England, we could hear them. We want to say thank you to everybody who supported us, to Bomanana, so they came today to say thank you so much. And we want to say thank you to AXA. It wouldn't have been possible for us to be here if AXA didn't give us the opportunity to be here, to allow us to be here and to do this. The reception we had, AXA, thank you so much. We felt like, we didn't go all the way to bring home the gold medal, but we really felt like champions. We felt like winners, AXA. And thank you so much from the bottom of our hearts. You made us feel welcome coming home, and this meant a lot to us as Netball South Africa. Let me thank God for making all this happen, because without him, nothing is impossible. I always say, thank you, God, because you said, I, God, in Isaiah 60, verse 22, when the time is right, will make it happen. And when the time is right, God will make it happen. Let me say thank you.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much. We're going to have a picture here. President, Coach Gamo, CEO and Coach Zan, can you please come forward as well? There's a picture that has been requested.
Okay.